I have no clue how to do makeup. So this face bead is from my friend Mercy. You can check her out at Posh Extreme. And yeah, you'll probably be seeing lots more face beads by her or other people in. Yeah. So today is a diary session again. That's the diary. So today, my diary entry was from, geez, I didn't write the date, but the date before that was like 2nd February 2020. And it's a note to myself. So I wrote, "Dear self, today more than anything, I need you to know that I love you. I know it may not seem that way lately. But I really do. I'm so sorry that I hurt you, physically and emotionally. I'm sorry that I allowed you to go through things that hurt you. This time around, I'll be more intentional about keeping you safe, keeping you happy, and allowing you to be in the will of God. Take life one day at a time, one step at a time, and keep your faith and trust in God. Everything will be fine." So today I thought we'd talk about like self-love and kind of like an extension from last week, and maybe just talk about like boundaries, things that we need to do to make sure that we're okay. And this isn't coming from a place of like we have to just think about ourselves. We should think about the next person too, but the word of God says love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so I know I've heard this everywhere, but I mean, I can also echo it. I think you need to love you first for you to be able to be your best self for the next person, and for you to be able to love the next person right. And because I feel like a lot of the hurt that we see, things that are done with that are not from a place of love, I think it comes from a place of like self-hurt, and like the fact that people don't love themselves. And so I think it's important for us to love people. If it may mean loving them from a distance, whatever, it's important for us to love people and pray for people, even the people that are like mean to us and all that stuff. But anyway, back to today's entry. So yeah, this was a point in my life where I felt like I was bending over backwards so much to make people happy, and I've had like a problem with like seeking approval in people. And so I would do anything like to make sure like people are happy or people see me this way. And other than that, like I was going through a lot of hurt, and I allowed myself to stay in a situation that was hurting me so bad, only because I thought that, oh, tomorrow will be better, but it will be the same thing. And I kept on staying in that situation. And I wrote like I had to apologize to myself and say like, you know what, I love you and I'm sorry that I keep on letting you stay in this situation. Like you're being hurt emotionally, but I keep on letting you stay here, because at the end of the day, I have the power to leave the situation. It's not on anybody else. I heard this recently, like it's not on anyone else. Like how other people react is their like choice, and how I react to a situation is also my choice. So I have the power to leave situations that are not good for me mentally, spiritually, physically. And so I stayed like for so long in a situation that it was really not helping me at all, and I was constantly getting hurt, and I would constantly like go places and just cry. And so I had to get to a point where I had to tell myself like, you know what, Lydia, I love you enough to get you out of this situation. No matter who it may hurt, I'm getting you out because I love you. Also, like I used to do this thing, especially when I was very young, like in high school, where I would suppress physical emotional pain with physical pain. So a lot of people may not know this about me, but I used to get like piercings. If like I'm sad and I'm hurt and I'm emotionally like feeling like overwhelmed, and like I just don't understand what's happening or why no one can understand me, I would go and get a piercing, and like I would like want to feel the pain physically so that I don't feel the pain emotionally. But yeah, sometimes we end up like also inflicting physical pain on ourselves, and that really is not loving ourselves. And it takes a lot. I know like a lot of people are going through, especially during this time. I've seen a big shift in like people getting into depression, and like people going through so many things. But at the end of the day, like it takes a lot to get yourself out of that place. But the main thing it that should want you to like get out of that place is just you loving yourself enough to say that, you know what, I'm worth more than just staying in this like pit and like constantly being hurt. Like there's more to life. I should realize that there's more to life. And so yeah, I don't want to like speak like from a place of ignorance, and like I don't know how excuse me, I don't know how bad things have been for people, and the level of like emotional stress, and like how people, the things that people feel. But I'm just speaking for myself and what helped me get out of it. And so yeah, also having like supportive and loving people around me that like may not necessarily know what's happening with me, but because I love myself, I'll take myself to them and tell them what's happening. And I know like it's easy for us to expect like, oh, they should know, they've been close to me, they should know that this is how I'm going. But no one can read your mind, especially for people who are good at like seeming okay and like just coming to deal with things by themselves. No one will ever read your mind and understand the depth of what you're going through, even after you explain it. But they can try, like after you explain it, people can try to be there for you. And being there for someone is like different. I recently learned that sometimes people may not need for you to like speak or have something to say. Sometimes they just need to feel understood. So like being there for someone is different in like it's different in for different people. But yeah, also for believers and for me, like one thing that keeps me standing and keeps me strong is the word of God. Like literally I could be going through the worst situations, but there's just some sorry, I keep receiving messages. The Lord, sorry, I had to just turn off my data because I use my phone and I kept receiving messages. And yeah. But yeah, I was talking about the word of God. Like for me, it's something I can never run away from. Like no matter how much help I may get from people, there's just something about spending time with God that just lifts my spirit in ways that I can't explain. And like I'm one person who's going to always advocate for having like an open and real relationship with God. And I literally I have a friend who was telling me about, I need her permission if I can share this, but if you see it, that means I got her permission. But she was an atheist, and when she was getting converted into a Christian, she used to have conversations with God that were so real that she would be insulting and happy. And God still used to hear her and give her peace, even if she's going like with those F-bombs and she's telling God like, you know, God, the I don't know what she's doing. But yeah, but that just goes to say that, you know, like there's no pretending with God. And even if you want to pretend, like he still knows it all. He knows your heart, he knows what's going on. And so if you're so frustrated and you're feeling mad and you're feeling angry, like you just go to God just like that. Like that's how good God is. He doesn't live up to people's standards and expectations of how we should approach. It's about you and your relationship with God, and God will mold that relationship and take it to like, it'll be what it is. Like and sorry guys, but I'm just like, I guess this thing for like, there's this one way we need to approach God. Like be able to approach God like in a way that's comfortable with you, in a way that doesn't feel like I'm going here and I'm pretending. So like in my letter, when I was talking to myself, like I told myself like, hey, like take everything to God. And what did I say? Take life one day at a time, one step at a time, and keep your faith and trust in God. Everything will be fine. And geez guys, like there's just nothing like having your faith and your trust in God. It gives you hope, it gives you peace. Like the word of God is so true, and it says like he strengthens those that are weak. If you haven't like watched my video when I got diagnosed with TB, but the peace that God filled me with, it's just something I can never even put into words. And I hope that we can all experience that for ourselves, that our relationship with God won't just be a distant relationship of, oh, God did this for this person, but God was real for me. And so yeah, also taking it one day at a time and like one step at a time. Literally, like one of my favorite scriptures is from Matthew, I think it's 6 verse 33. I'll put the correct scripture if that's wrong. That just talks about like how like God takes care of nature, God takes care of the birds. Like how much more will he take care of you? Like how much more does he have your tomorrow sorted? And then it goes on to say like don't worry about tomorrow, because like you don't even know what tomorrow holds. And for me, like you guys, it's still something I'm working on and working through. As I said, like I'm not a perfect person, I'm a progressing person. But one thing I have learned for sure is that like worrying about tomorrow literally has, like, there's no use in it, because you literally don't even know what tomorrow holds. So living in the moment is just the best thing you can do for yourself, you guys, because we have no idea what tomorrow holds. So taking things one day at a time, dealing with one issue at a time, like in today, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm gonna deal. I'm not gonna think about, okay, what if I deal with it and like this and then tomorrow this happens. No, I'm just gonna deal with it today. And yeah, also a big advocate of just being so intentional. So whatever you need to do to get yourself in a good space, whether it's sitting down, I've had times when I'd have to sit down and tell myself, Lydia, like, I'm sorry, Lydia, I love you, hearing those things for yourself. There's something about like being able to speak things into the atmosphere rather than them just staying in your head, like, oh, I love myself, but just, it may be silly, but just sit and tell yourself that, you know what, I love you. And yeah, I think I've tackled everything in my letter. Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope this helps you. I once again hope that this can be like an open and vulnerable space for us to talk. If you need someone to talk to, like, I'm here. I mean, I know it, like, opening up about deep things requires trust, but if you just feel like you have no one to talk to and you need someone to talk to, I'm here. And I hope this can be a source of good conversation for us. And yeah, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, please share, please let people know. And yeah, so guys, thanks for having tea with me or whatever it is you're drinking. And until next time, stay safe, take care, be good to you, love you, and yeah.